Hello, gorgeous, savvy women in business. I'm curious to know, what is it that you can now live without? What have you learnt in the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks with this changed working environment that we're currently dealing with and that we're currently learning new skills in? Hi, I'm Chris Piccone. I work with savvy business women who are mentally, physically and emotionally exhausted and want to find a way off the treadmill, want to end that exhaustion and are looking to find their authentic voice. So I'm really curious to know, with this new way of working that we've all been plunged into, what is it that you're no longer doing, that you're no longer finding necessary? What are those things that have popped off your to-do list simply because other people's pressures and what other people consider to be urgent and important are no longer urgent and important because they're not physically in front of you, able to impose themselves on you? What meetings are no longer necessary? And what conversations in those meetings are no longer taking up your time? So if you're in an organization or you're managing a team and leading a team where you've decided to go online and have virtual meetings, how are you shortcutting the conversation that is unnecessary, the deliberation that maybe you don't need to have, the postponing, the procrastination, the running around in circles? How is all of this changing the efficiency and the effectiveness of your meetings? I'll also ask you, how are you relating to people differently? And how are you using that time in which you do relate to people differently? So you may find that people are no longer using you as a sounding board. Now, when you're busy and when you're juggling many balls, as a lot of us women in business are, we've got 4, 5, 6 balls in the air at any one time, sometimes more. People find that they need you as a sounding board because that satisfies their desire to get something off their chest, to soundboard something so that they can come up with new ideas, to seek your opinion, to seek your guidance, to tap into your counsel, which is great for them. But my question for you is, how does that impact your day and throw you off schedule and take you off your focus? So I'm really curious to know at the moment, what are those things that are dropping out of your day? And how are you using that time now that you have more time available to you, if that's the case? Sometimes people will soundboard to you or off you, which is great for them. As soon as we stop to be that person who buys into their reasoning, their deliberation over how things are or how things should be or how things can be easier, whether that's your peers or whether that's your direct reports or whether that's people who work for you remotely, then when we stop to buy into that conversation, then what happens is people are held a mirror up in front of them, or it could be a case of them, hearing back the conversation when they speak it to themselves rather than having a captive audience. And they start to realize that perhaps they're voicing things that are unnecessary for them to voice to you. So one thing I really love working with my women leaders with is helping them understand how can they short track conversations to get more effectiveness and efficiency from those interactions, and help people to troubleshoot what's going on for them and to fast track decision making so that that frees up your time and your responsibility around having to resolve things for people rather than empowering them. I love working with women to help them to create this new persona and to step into that persona where they become more of a coach, where they become more of a, hi Julian, welcome, where they become more of a guide rather than absorbing other people's challenges, absorbing other people's reasons for not doing things or reasons for doing things when perhaps you're not the best person or you're not the person necessary for them to do that in order for them to move forward. So I'm really conscious of working with my female clients to really protect their time and to buffer themselves from the energy that is zapped from them by other people, buffer themselves from that so that you can go on and create more focus, more direction, more ambition, more drive, and be more lit up and more empowered to get done what's important for you. And I think quite often what happens for women in business is that we say yes to a lot of things, including having those conversations or being that sounding board for the people around us when we're not necessarily the person that they need. We could quite simply coach them around going home at night and journaling that sort of stuff so that they can get it out in a forum that's safe and it doesn't take up your time with their reasoning. So I'm really curious, and I would love for you all to post in the comments box below, where are you finding a difference in your capacity right now, your ability to get things done, because all of a sudden you're not being dragged into the energy of other people and what they think is important and what they think is valuable and what they think is necessary and urgent. And if we can safeguard our own time and our mental space by consciously asking ourselves now more than ever, well, what are those things that I could drop that would mean that the world doesn't fall apart, that would mean that my people don't feel unsupported necessarily, that would mean that I'm acting less from a position of disempowering them by being that sounding board for their reasons, by giving them the opportunity to voice something that perhaps they could deal with on their own, that perhaps I don't need I don't need to be the person who has the open door policy that allows them to take my time and use it how they choose. Therefore, eliminating that time from my day that I can be more focused, that I can be more streamlined in how I do things, to get more cadence in my day, more momentum, more flow, more time for creativity. So I'm really curious to hear from you all, because I've had this conversation with a couple of leaders so far in the last couple of weeks around, where are you reallocating your time? How are you using this time in order to get on top of things and to really be conscious of the fact that perhaps we need to give ourselves permission to walk away from the conversation, to remove ourselves from the situation, to respectfully excuse ourselves if we're not able to contribute in a way that we feel is valuable. I really strongly urge you to take some time over the next few days to recognize that and to really grab hold of that, because this is a great time for us to be taking more control of our own time, eliminating that mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion, and getting off that treadmill. So please go ahead and comment. I would love to interact with you and hear what your thoughts are on that. If you would like to book a complimentary consult with me, I can give you a high-level strategy that will absolutely help you map out how you can get over the exhaustion, how you can eliminate that and get on your path to find your authentic voice. I'm Chris Bocconi, and I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. If you would like to book that consult, please go ahead, chrisbocconi.com.au/consult. See you tomorrow.